Welcome to Rock Your Block and today's segment of This and That with Ernestine. I am your host, Ernestine Wilson, and I am so excited to spend time with our guest today. She introduces concepts that you can implement to release stress and soar like an eagle. Meet DeniseNicola Farrell, CEO of DeniseNicola. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming all the way from Pennsylvania to hang out with us today.
I know, right? It was a fun drive down. I loved it.
Good, good, good. Well, we've got a lot to talk about. I got a lot of questions here for you.
All right.
So let's get started. Give us a general overview of your business. Tell us what you do.
So I am a metaphysical personal development guide.
That's a lot.
I know, it's a mouthful, isn't it? So what I do is I use the natural laws of Earth, the universal laws, to help people to unpack emotional baggage or things that may be holding them back from really enjoying life and having more of a harmonious life, right? Because everybody wants more joy, love, peace, and harmony. So I want to give people that.
Okay, and you can do that.
Well, I do my best to help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you advertise that you show people the formula for transforming their lives. And there are three major points that one must embrace in order to, I guess, experience that shift. So let's talk about those. And let's start with the benefit of being grateful.
Okay, great. So gratitude. That was something that was so hard for me when I was younger, because I used to, when someone did something nice for me, I would just say thank you and just move on, because that's what you're taught to say from a child, right? But then I discovered the magic of gratitude. And the magic of gratitude is not only saying thank you, but feeling it, having the emotion behind it. And how that will benefit someone is that the more emotion you put into it, then things start to happen for you that are, I think, magical. For example, I used to complain a lot. And one day I'm in this line, and the line is taking, I thought the line would never end, and I was waiting to be served. And I was complaining. And I decided, stop complaining and start giving thanks that you have the money to buy the food, that the gentleman is being kind to serve you. Anyway, long story short, I get to the head of the line, and the gentleman, I order $50 worth of what I'm ordering, and he goes, ma'am, this is on the house. And I was like, oh, it works just like that, huh? And everybody else, I know they had to pay, but he's like, this is on the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, that's a good start. Number two is the benefit of generating love in the body. Now, I have to admit, I have never seen these three words used together. Generating love in the body. Oh, is that 4 words? Whatever. What does that mean?
Oh my goodness. So love is such a powerful emotion. In fact, if you bear with me for a second, there's a Japanese scientist named Dr. Emoto. And when he was alive, he did this experiment on water. And what they did was they sent the emotion, just the feeling of love. And like when you see your grandchild or a friend and you feel that feeling of love, they sent it to water that was polluted. And when they looked at the particles after they flash froze it, they formed the most beautiful crystals, like snow crystals. And what we're finding out is that if we can send the emotion of love to other people, then it changes things. For example, one of my clients, she and her daughter were not speaking on bad terms, and it bothered her. So I said, every morning, we're gonna feel the emotion of love for your daughter. We're gonna imagine you hugging her. And I want you to feel it in your body so much that you feel tears coming to your eyes because you just feel it generating through your body. And a couple days later, she's like, you wouldn't believe it, my daughter and I are now speaking. So that's the metaphysical part. That's the magical part of doing that.
Okay. Yeah. We're talking magic here too.
We're talking, you know what, it's a gift of life. It's a gift that we have that we just are remembering.
Okay. The next one is meditation.
So years ago, I was resistant to meditation. I didn't want to do it. And I felt I was anxious, I was depressed, and I couldn't get my mind to shut off. But I noticed that when I meditated, like for example, if I meditated on an outcome, it would kind of show up. It would happen in a way that was just right for me.
So when you say you meditated, what exactly is meditation? What are you doing when you're meditating?
So what I do, there are different kinds of meditation, and there are different types. But what I did at the time was I would lay on my back, and I would imagine the room filled with money. And I'd imagine money falling out of the sky.
Were you having financial woes at this time?
I was having financial woes at the time, and I was trying to build a business that
Okay.
was, and I would just imagine it. And then customers would start calling. Money just started showing up. I would even find money on the street. It was wild. So then I decided to dive deeper into meditation during COVID. And as a woman who could barely meditate for 20 minutes, I found myself sitting there for an hour. And I noticed that things started to improve in my life. People who I needed help from started showing up. It just seemed like everything kind of rearranged itself to outcomes that were just right for me. Opportunities started showing up. And I started developing relationships with people all over the world, literally.
So for you, was meditation imagination, or was it a little deeper than that?
Good question. So meditation can be done as an imagination, like when I'd imagine the room filled with money, or I'd imagine an outcome, right? So you can do that. But then there's another type of meditation that I do where I ask people to sit in silence. And the first time I did it was you just sit in silence for 2 hours a day, every day, for 10 days. And that one was a game changer for me. And I noticed that it's a lot of, even Thomas Edison, he sat in silence for 1 hour every day. That was his ritual.
Was that hard at first?
It was hard. I could not get my mind to shut up. I couldn't get my body to sit still. But what I noticed as I continued doing it, my body understood that I was the boss. I was the master. And it sat still. I sat still. And I noticed that you never really stop thinking. That you can't shut the mind off, but you can focus on your heart. You can focus on your breath. And when you do that, you start getting answers to things that you may have been asking for. Or you start to know. You get this knowing or these intuitive hunches, and when you follow them, it leads you in a direction of an outcome that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
It does. So using your techniques, you say that some are immediate and others are long-lasting. So could you describe a technique that gives us immediate gratification? Because you know that's the world we live in, right?
That is true.
Now.
Yeah, no, you're right, you're right. So it depends on how immediate you're looking for something. So if you want something like within 21 days, people like 21-day challenges and things like that, right? I would tell people, practice gratitude for 21 days. Every morning you get up, you think of, before you even get out of the bed, think of 5 things that you're grateful for and feel it, like really feel it to the core of your being. And at night before you go to bed, do it. Or if that's too much, practice micro gratitudes during the day. Thank you, God, I have a warm cup of coffee, and really feel it. Or thank you, universe, I can walk, my legs work. And just feel it in your body. And after doing that for a while, not only are you gonna feel better, but you're gonna notice things start showing up in your favor. It could even be as simple as, I think the other day I wanted grass-fed beef, and I thought I was gonna have to go to a farm to get it. And I had this feeling when I came out of the bank, to just go to the supermarket. And not only did it have grass-fed beef, it had a whole case of it, and God even provided, or the universe, whatever you use, the head butcher, to tell me how to make it just right, medium. But yes, immediate. I've had all sorts of stuff show up. That one will give you almost immediate returns.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the 21-day challenge, and that was one of my questions because just looking at your website and other publications and things that you've done, you gave a 21-day challenge to your readers. Now, what was that like? Was it really intense, or was it something that one could start, easily do, and finish? Because I noticed that finish is also something that you say a lot. I know that's a lot of questions, but.
No, that's okay. So how do I put it? I think a lot of times we're kind of hard on ourselves. I know I used to be very hard on myself. So for example, if I started a gratitude challenge for 21 days and by day number 3 I fell off, I'm like, oh gosh, I failed, it's done, forget it. I trust that I've created an environment where if you fall off for after day 3, you just pick up and just keep going because you're developing a habit. So when your 21 days are done, sometimes you may have to start over at day number 1 10 times. But when your 21 days are done, you will feel and see such a transformative difference in your life and in your relationships that you'll want to keep doing it again. And even if you stop, you're going to remember that time when you felt and practiced gratitude for 21 days and how easy things seemed to be. Parking spots started to show up for you in crowded places. People started just showing up when you needed them.
So your 21-day challenge was to take one item, issue.
Any 5 things that you
want.
want.
5 things.
5 things. It could be, okay, good question. So say for example, you can do 5 things that you're grateful for during the day. It could be that. Or maybe you might take an issue. Maybe you have a health concern. You can start feeling grateful for your body and that you're healthy. And actually they're proving this, and scientists are now proving that just 15 minutes of gratitude 3 times a day can help to improve your health. So you could focus on those every day. Thank you, God, for my eyes. They work perfectly and I can see. Thank you, God, for my hands. And you can choose a topic, whatever topic you want every day, or go by my guide, and you will notice that things will start to improve.
So is religion at the basis of your practice, or is it a part of who you are naturally or normally?
It's a part of who I am. I'm not so much, let's put it this way.
And I asked that because you said, thank you, God, which I think it's a good thing to say, but I just would like for you to tell us how that plays into
study. All right, so I believe that because of learning about the universal laws, like the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, it inspired me to read my Bible more, because I found that a lot of the things that Jesus said, he said we could do it, and by implementing these natural laws, I realized that I was able to do a lot of that stuff. So I'm not like a religious person necessarily, but I believe in the power of who we are as human beings, and I believe in a higher power, or creator. And our creator has given us all these wonderful gifts that when we use them, it helps us to be more powerful and step into our power. So yes, I do believe in a creator, and I believe in God. Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I asked, but okay.
Okay, sorry. Did I mess up on that question?
No, you didn't. So you designed and published this beautiful journal because you wanted to motivate people, I'm guessing, and you wanted them to stay on course.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so was this your way of the journal? Because I noticed that there are 90 days in this journal, not 21.
Yes.
So tell us why you developed this journal.
The idea for the journal came to me in a meditation. I was inspired to do the meditation. I was even told who to ask to do the artwork. And when I asked him, he was ready and able, this Greek artist named Alexandros, he was ready and able to do it with me. And I wanted a system, a 90-day system, because they usually say, you know, after 90 days, some habits become ingrained. And I wanted a system for people to use to not only track their gratitudes, to not only track things that they were bothered by, because there's a part in the journal that says send love to things that bother you, but it also is an opportunity for them to track things that they desire. And what I know for sure is that the more you give gratitude for the things you have, then the things that you desire come off that list of things of desired and become the things that you have now, and you're grateful for it. So the journal is a way for you to just keep track of your manifestations, really.
Okay. So it is called the Gratitude Journal.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of walk us through the format of the journal.
Okay, great. So at the beginning of the journal, you'll see 7 of the universal laws. And these laws, I think, are important, especially as you navigate life. For example, the law of vibration. And the law of vibration says everything vibrates, nothing rests. So basically, even though this desk looks solid, it is moving particles. When you practice gratitude, it raises your vibration. So you become less matter and more energy.
Oh,
yes.
That's interesting.
So when the day 1 will start off with a quote. Every day has a quote from one of the teachers of these principles. So for example, one of the teachers is Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard, I'll give a quote from that, and then I'll ask you to write 5 things that you're grateful for in your life right now. And then I'll ask you to do 5 things that you're grateful for that you desire. Then I'll say, in the journal it says, send love to something or someone that bothers you. So let's say you have something in your job, or maybe a problem with a coworker or a family member. You spend a minute or 2 or more and just envision them and feel love for them. And sometimes that can be hard too, because
I was just thinking that.
yeah, sometimes that can be hard.
Because if it gets to that point, then she's
Yeah.
feeling love for someone who really aggravates you
Yeah.
is tough.
You know, there is a story of one of the teachers of these principles, and she was in a lawsuit, and it was really bad, and it just was unfair for her to be a part of this lawsuit. And she was told, send love to the people who are suing you. And she's like, I can't do that. I don't like them very much. But anyway, they said, okay, put a picture of your dog who you love there, start with that, and then shift the energy to the people. And she did that, and the lawsuit cleared up in her favor.
That's a transformation, right?
That's a transformation, yes.
Okay, I like that.
So yes, so you do that, and then, so you send love, and then you start tracking synchronicities, because when you do this and you feel the emotion of it, you start noticing synchronicities.
Now, I saw that word a lot also,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to pronounce. And how does that play in? What does that mean, and how does that play in with your with the journey that you are taking people on for transformation?
Okay, so synchronicities, I like to call them like little golden breadcrumbs from the universe or from the divine that shows that you're on the right track. So, for example, it could.
Go ahead.
For example, there was a teacher that I loved. Her work helped to really inspire me to keep going, and she was on Oprah actually, and I really liked her. And one day I'm in Trader Joe's, and that was a week my mentor had said, get in the God flow, feel the divine around you. And I'm like, that's not working. I don't think I'm doing it right. And one day I'm in Trader Joe's, and a woman starts talking to me about avocados, and we really hit it off. And then she says, let's keep in touch, let's be friends. And I was like, cool. And she's like, I'm like, what's your name? And she tells me her name, and it's the same woman who was on Oprah. And we are friends now, but I couldn't believe, because that was a day my teacher had said to me, step into the God flow, trust God, and see what the universe provides. And that's the day I met her. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about meditation, and the reason that I'm asking you to just talk about that a little bit more is because some people perceive meditation as sacrilegious. You know, it is not a good thing. It's not something that is really beneficial to one's well-being. But based on everything that you've said today, it's worked really well for you, and I know it has for a lot of other people. So let's demystify meditation.
So, in my opinion, I believe we're meditating all the time, because it's when it's concentrated thoughts on a topic. So, for example, when I used to worry a lot, I was meditating on a bad outcome, right? But when you choose to focus on a good outcome, that's a form of meditation. But the first thing that, how do I put this? Most people will sit down to meditate. They will still their bodies, still their mind, and they will meditate on an outcome that they're looking for. So it's not necessarily sacrilegious, because it's just focusing your thought or imagination on an outcome that you desire. Right?
Okay.
And it's just, we're using our imagination all the time. So why not use it to create something that we love? And when you sit down in meditation, it actually helps you to still your mind, still your body, and co-create an outcome that you love, that you would love.
So you said that you started the journal because you were meditating.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you got the idea when you were meditating.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is a book that takes people on a journey to improve their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you really come up with it? Was it just popped into your head, or?
It popped into, some of the best ideas just pop into your head, literally. And while I was in meditation, I felt like you need to create a journal. This is what you need to put in it. And this is who you need to ask to do it. And that, it was just like that. It just popped into my head, and I executed on the idea.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so people are buying them and enjoying the process and giving you good reviews about how you have helped them transform their lives.
Yes.
That must be a great feeling.
It feels amazing. I love it, especially when someone says to me, you know, this is a problem I had with my, let's say, my daughter or my neighbor, and it's gone. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. That feels good.
So what's next? What do you have in the pipeline?
I am actually working on a book. I finished the first draft. It's called Thrive, and it's steps to help people to master manifestation. And I talk about affirmation in there, meditation. I talk about what the word persistence really means, and things like that.
So what is manifestation?
It's actually creating things out of thin air, from your thoughts to reality, to physical reality.
Okay.
And it happens, sometimes you may have to put some extra work into it, but sometimes it just happens just out of thin air for you.
Okay. Who are your typical clients, if there is such a thing as typical?
Okay. My typical clients are people who truly just want to transform their lives, and they're willing to do the energetic work to make it happen.
That's very general. Somewhat vague.
I know, right? But they're looking for an outcome. they're looking for an outcome, and they want to rediscover the magic of life. They want to see just what they're capable of, and if everything that they've been taught, maybe in the Bible or whatever book they're using, maybe if it's a Muslim in the Quran, they want to see if they can live these experiences, these magical experiences, if they can experience them in their everyday life.
And are they referred to you, or do they come from happening up on your website or podcasts? Where do they come from?
I had a client from Switzerland who came from on my website. I've had people come from podcasts that I've done. I've had people go see me on YouTube or Instagram rather, and they've reached out to me. Or people who, in my everyday life who just know me, like me, and trust me, and reach out and say, you can help me, can you help me with this? And I help them.
Great. Well, we're almost up, so I have to ask you just a couple of questions that have nothing to do with the Gratitude Journal. One is, what is your favorite book?
Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland.
Okay, I haven't read that. I have to put that on my list. What's your favorite movie?
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Of course, nobody puts baby in a corner.
Thank you so much for coming to visit with us. Our time is up.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about how to contact our special guest, DeniseNicola Farrell, CEO of DeniseNicola, please see the information scrolling below. Thank you for watching Rock Your Block and today's segment of This and That with Ernestine. See you soon.